it is me, Genuinely Divine, coming at you today with a video all about Motivation Monday. So something that's really been catching my attention is I see memes all over the internet talking about death. Since the Kobe Bryant's accident, everyone has been so fearful. They've been in panic mode where they're just like, oh my God, you know, families are losing their lives, or people are losing their lives here and there, like one after the other. I've heard several people talk about it, even people who I'm kind of close to. They were really concerned about the number of deaths that has been taking place in January and now coming over into February. In all actuality, you know, near the end of the year and the beginning of the year, that's when the deaths are at its highest. You know, statistics show that they are very high, you know, in December and January. But however or whichever, death is to come to all of us. And I have so many people who are just so fearful and they're so afraid. And I mean, this one meme that really caught my attention, and I'm like, are you really asking God to protect you from death when death is a natural transition of life? Death is a part of life. It's something that we all must experience. It is something that we all must do. No human being is exempt from death. I do realize that a lot of people want to keep their life because they enjoy it, or they enjoy their family and just being alive because they don't really know what's on the other side, and that's fine. But you must remember and realize that once you were just a spirit, right? Before you came into this body, you were just a spirit in the spirit world. So you have to kind of like take that information and use it to the best of your ability to really analyze the whole transition of death. When you leave this body, when this body can no longer function or working, then where does your spirit go? Because your spirit will never die. It's gonna go back to the spirit world until it attaches to another body and move into another life, right? So whatever the case may be, you must understand that death is something you must accept. There is no protection from death for none of us. There is none. You know, I do find that most spiritual people do not fear death. It is the people who are more religious. I feel like so many religious people, they genuinely fear death. Like, you talk about death, they're like, oh my God, I want to stay here. Their life can be of total chaos. I mean, nothing really goes right for them. They can go through all the problems that you can think about, the trials and tribulations of life. They do not want to leave here. Do you understand? And like spiritual people like myself, I think totally opposite. You know, sometimes you can be like, I'm ready to transition into something greater or something different. You know, there's no problem. Now, don't get it twisted. I know that everybody wants to be here, to see their family, their children to grow up, to become adults, to see their grandkids and all of that great stuff. Everybody wants that. But if that's not your mission, if that's not a part of your destiny, it's not a part of why you were put here, it's not a part of your purpose, then that's not what you came here for. And so you have to understand that, accept that, and embrace what you came here for, and to understand that everything happens for a greater purpose. There's no need to fear death. I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to the family of Kobe and his daughter. But in all actuality, Kobe and his daughter is in a much better place than here in my interpretation. So please, you guys, don't be afraid. Do not panic. Just relax and understand that this is just a transition into a new life. It is better to go into a house of mourning than to go into a house of feasting. For death is the destiny for everyone. And the living should take this to heart. There's also another Bible verse where it says, When a child is born, it is a time to mourn, and death itself is a celebration. Why? This is preparation, because death must come to everyone. It is preparing you for the inevitable, because there's no way to avoid death. It's going to come to us, whether we want it to or not. It is just a part of who we are. And the sooner we accept it, embrace it, understand it, and teach it in a way that our loved ones, our children, can understand that this is a natural part of life. Okay? Doesn't mean you shouldn't grieve. No. You can grieve, but don't allow yourself to stay in mourning for too long. Why? Because you are still here amongst the living. So you must continue to live, because you still have work to do. And in due time, you too will meet your destiny, right? I feel like because we as human beings, a lot of times it's very difficult for us to accept that we should mourn when a child is born, because it's such a joyous occasion. We have this new bundle of joy that's coming into our lives, and we're so excited to be affiliated with such a gorgeous little sweet baby, and it's so much fun. So it doesn't leave us any type of emotion that we want to, mourn. It's very happy times. But in all actuality, if you really put things into perspective, this baby has been born into a world that is filled with trials and tribulations. No matter what type of family this child is born into, this child is going to go through the trials and tribulations of life, the transition of death. These people have actually completed their task. They're no longer dealing with the trials and the tribulations of life. They've completed their mission. Now they're moving into a new life. They're moving into another transition, because that's what we do as spirits. We transition. The body, the shell, it dies, it dissolves, it goes back into the earth. But the soul, the spirit, it never dies. It continuously transitions. So the sooner that we understand it, the sooner we teach our children, the sooner we'll be able to not be afraid of what's to come, because it's nothing to fear. It is just something that we must all learn to embrace. Do we want to have a long, healthy life? Yes, I believe that's everybody's wish to a certain extent, but keeping things logical and practical, we must understand that that's not a gift or a purpose that has been given to all of us. Now, with that being said, you guys, I wish you so much love, peace, and so many wonderful blessings. Bye.